Hello, welcome back. This is episode 4 of Sunsets in Temecula. And as you can see, you're looking at the setting sun in Temecula. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have subscribed to the channel. If you have listened to some of the previous videos, please be so kind as to like them as well as this one if you so choose. It has been an exhausting series of days since the death of Jamie Eisman. And I thought it would be appropriate to provide you with a gift from Jamie Eisman to the baby Elijah Steele. A reading done by a person who can read birth charts. And while some of the things that you're going to hear in this reading might sound unbelievable, incredulous, they are indeed what we were told before knowing our baby for 1 month. And so, without further ado, a birth chart reading of Elijah Steele.
Hello, Lauren, Christian, Jamie. Thank you so much for ordering a reading for your grandchild. Let's get started. This is quite a powerful little soul who has incarnated, and I've been studying his chart for about 3 or 4 hours, actually, off and on for the last week. That's why it takes me a little bit of time to gather all of the information and bring it to a cohesive understanding, because there's so much going on. What I wanted to talk about first is Elijah's past life, because that's going to be very important growing up and going forward. So it came back to me right away that he was royalty in a past life. And he's going to remember a lot of that authority and a lot of that behavior coming into this life. So the challenge will be to even out his ego, because he's so still connected and remembers so much of that other life. And you'll start to see it around the age of 2 or 3, where things like a crown or a robe or a staff will start to come out in playtime, and it will be indicative of a memory that he's having of a past life that he had. So now in this life, what happens is he comes through with all of that information, and he utilizes it in this generation, at this space, at this time. One of the things that he's very, very good at, and will be for the rest of his life, is communicating. He will be able to talk and talk and talk until there's no tomorrow, and very intelligently so, where he is not just talking to be talking. He really does have a lot of ideas and perceptions and thoughts, and throughout his young life. And I think the baby is a male, but Elijah could be a girl's name too, so I'm not too sure if I'm getting this right. I hope so. But I believe Elijah is masculine energy. So So growing up then, and if it's not, then that's okay because it'll apply anyway if I've got this wrong. But what will happen is very young, he will be able to read, write, draw, express himself in any kind of way to communicate. In school, he'll be very good at top of the class at reading and writing. That's due to 4 planets in Gemini. So he has the Sun, North Node, Venus, and Mercury. So when you have Venus, Mercury, and the Sun all riding together like that, right next door to Uranus, by the way, in Taurus, it makes you a very sensitive person. Like, that's air, so electromagnetic frequencies, especially TV sets, cell phone towers. This is a child who has to be very careful of where they go to school, for example, because they're putting so many of these 5G cell phone towers in schools, and that would wreak havoc on him health-wise. It's not to say that you have to do anything extraordinary around the home, but you do have to be aware of where the devices are that carry the electromagnetic frequencies, because that will determine the baby's behavior, especially very young. I would not I see a couple people giving their child cell phones. That would be something, if you do want to do that later on, to keep the baby occupied for a few minutes, maybe a few minutes, but the electromagnetic frequencies with this child are so high that they can be activated very quickly and very strongly by energy. So that would be something that you're going to have to probably deal with and be aware of. Again, he talks very young. You're going to be amazed at how fast he says mommy and daddy and grandpa and grandma, and it's just going to be amazing. He's just, and also here's what I can see too. When he's real little, like 3 months, 4 months before he's able to really speak, he's trying so hard, and this gibberish that's coming out, he thinks he knows what he's talking about, and there's believe me, there are full conversations that are going to be present in that gibberish. But until he can get it out of his mouth into formulating and communicating, it might be a little frustrating for him, because he won't be able to understand why nobody can understand what he's saying. There's also, because of his past life, he will always know what to do. So you'll see him very often when he has playtime with other children his age. He will be coordinating and directing and telling everybody what to do and giving everybody jobs. And this is another remembrance of his past life and when he used to do that. So in this lifetime, then, I think you are raising a politician. That might not come till later on, but the skills for communication here are extraordinarily strong. In the 3rd house, for example, you have Scorpio. And that is a very powerful place for Scorpio to be, in the 3rd house. And the reason is it because it makes a great debater later on when he is in his teenage years and he wants to do something. You will have the debate and the discussion of a lifetime going on with his ability to sway you or tell you that it's okay that he does this one thing. And by the way, he's going to have very big ideas going forward in his future, because nothing with this child happens on a small scale. The reason I say that is because he has Saturn in Aquarius, which is at a triangular aspect to all of that Gemini. And he is a free spirit, if you've ever seen one. I mean, this little person is going to not like to be dictated to, told what to do, suggested maybe, but has a real rebellion very early in life about authority. And that's that Saturn in Aquarius. That Saturn in Aquarius does not like to be told what to do. It doesn't like to follow rules. It doesn't like to It doesn't like to do anything the normal way. It's a free spirit that always likes to find the challenge doing things in a different light. And most of the time, by the way, they're right. That it could be done more efficiently or it could be done differently. It would be very much like taking our current example of everybody having to work from home because of COVID. That really is one of the very positive things that have come about from this experience of quarantine, is that everybody understood that they were wasting a lot of time driving back and forth, getting ready, hair, makeup, clothes, and so forth, that the line of production working from home is much more creative and effective. And you may decide as his parents that you're not going to send him to a public school. I feel that very strongly. And the reason I feel that is because you're going to see that the public schools have, they won't know really what to do with him because he's so intelligent. So he's going to have to be able to really grow at his own pace educationally. And there's going to be lots of things that he's interested in. Science is one of them. So anything to do with scientific experiments or anything to do with cells and the body and health and that sort of thing will be something that he might even go into as a career. Now, he has a very interesting aspect also with Pluto in Capricorn in his fifth house of children, family, romance, significant partner. Pluto in Capricorn is exalted. It's in the best place it can possibly be. It makes for a very strong, grounded individual who really knows what they want and goes for that very early in life. So Pluto is 26 minutes into his fifth house. 20 minutes, into his fifth house. And so it's almost 3/4 of the way through. And because of that, this is that energy that he brings through from the past life that never really closes down. His third chakra, his crown chakra, never really closes down. He is one of these spirits who can remember his past life incarnations. That will be part of what he does, either writing articles or maybe possibly writing a book. He will be very good at working with others in regards to projects. And again, it comes through that the angels are showing me that the traditional educational system is not anything that he is going to be interested in. As a matter of fact, if he goes to public school, he's going to probably get in trouble. He might be very rebellious to what they're teaching because he already knows all of it. He doesn't, again, like the rules and regulations, although he's a very good team player. So it's not that he's not going to be a team player. He's a very good sportsman, team player as he gets older, and activities such as baseball or football or that, some type of basketball, some type of sports would be very good. But he is such an empath. And very early on, you're going to see where he will be able to pick up your thoughts without you saying anything. It will be very hard to not answer him truthfully because he'll know if you're not answering truthfully. So he's very open, very psychic, very much an empath, very young. And because of his parents now, he will be able to work with those frequencies, those energies, those gifts much earlier in life than, say, the average person. Because the average person that comes in with gifts such as this, they are not aware of what's happening, and they think that everybody can feel and see these things that they can feel and see, and then they find out later on as an adult, no, that's not true. That a lot of the people have closed off their crown chakra and don't have any kind of communication or vibration to the higher fields, to the higher realms. Also, very young, he will be able to see spirits, angel spirits, and fairies, and gnomes and these frequencies that live on different levels but coexist within our third dimensional realm here. So it's a very, very wise child that's coming through, and a lot of times he'll say things and you'll go, where did that come from? That's just crazy. Again, it's him remembering who he was before, and there was a reason why he was king in a past life. Let's go on to part 2.
I expect you can imagine my reaction after listening to this once again. I recalled that this reading was done within the first week of Elijah's life. The day Elijah was born was the day Jamie hired this gifted person to read his birth chart. And if you are interested in what she had to say in part 2, feel free to hit the alarm button so that you can be notified when the next chapter in this series is released. Until then, thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the sunset, like the video, share it, maybe, possibly, definitely, and stay tuned for more videos.